howdy folks, welcome back to Vanilla Mile Arc. It is sunrise in Idaho. This is leg 13 of our 50-state series. And we are going to fly the entire length of Idaho, north to south. I think Idaho deserves a little bit more attention, so instead of flying across west to east or east to west, we're going to fly the entire length. I have 597 nautical miles written down. That was taken from a driving route, though, so it'll probably be a little bit less as the crow flies. But it's 7:41 in the sim, looking for an 8 o'clock departure. There's the sun rising over there. But I'm very excited about this flight. I carved out some time to do this flight, because it's going to take a while, even in this thing. I didn't realize this was a grass strip when I chose this airport, though. So anyway, it's not really... I don't know if you'd take off on grass in this thing, but we're going to. We're barely going to have enough runway, too. Like, in real life, this runway is long enough. I looked it up. But in the sim, it's not a modeled airport. It might be too short. We might end up in that water. Oh boy, I didn't know there's water there. I could have chosen another runway, I guess. But I want to take off into the wind because real world weather's turned on. No clouds, but we have 16 knot winds coming from just off the nose to the right. So it's going to be interesting. I hope we make it. Oh my goodness. I hope we take off just fine. Otherwise, where are we? What are we doing? We are at 1 Sierra 1, which is Eckhart International Airport in Porthill, Idaho. In other words, we are on the very, very border of Canada and Idaho. In fact, we're on runway 33, so if we spin around more quickly, the Canadian border is right there. Like literally right on the other side of that lake, or halfway through that lake. So we'll actually be going into Canada, I almost said Canada, to get some to get some altitude and turn around. Secondly, we're going to land, where are we going to land? Bear Lake County, 1 Uniform 7, the southernmost airport I could find in Idaho. So it's about 10 or 15 miles from the border. So it's not exactly the border, like we are literally on the border of Canada right now. We're not going to be on the border of Idaho and I believe Utah when we land, but we'll be pretty darn close, the closest we can get. 597 nautical miles. Maybe a bit less, as I said, as a crow flies. So we're taking this thing, we're going to load it full of fuel and people. Now, that being said, our destination has no instrument approach. I checked AirNav, no instrument approach. So we're just going to let the GPS take us to the airfield, because normally we would have a company route and we would know the approach. Secondly, we would know the area. Third, we have air traffic control us to land. But we have none of those things. We're in the simulator without any of those things. Never done this area before. So we're just going to fly to it and try to figure it out as we go. Maybe have to circle to land. Maybe we'll be able to figure it out. I don't know what the weather is like there. I will refresh the weather as we get closer, though. And we will see what happens. If the weather's like it is here, we won't be able to land because the winds are just too strong. But we might be able to. We'll see. I'm taking advantage of the strong winds to take off, though, so we can use less runway. So we're pointing kind of into the wind, I think. What is that? Is that a Canadian flag? No, that's the... Oh, that's the windsock. Which doesn't look nearly as dramatic as the sim says it is. We'll see what happens when we load up the map to get our altimeter. Otherwise, that's the introduction. We're in the Flower Power livery because this is my favorite livery. This is the newest version of the aircraft. I think it's like 1.11.1.18 or something. It was just released a couple days ago. The update to the update to the update. So anyway, I love this thing. It's been a long time, so I want to do a long flight to use it. Otherwise, I think we are ready to go. I don't think I need to repeat myself. Everybody knows what the series is. If you don't know, please subscribe. Turn on notifications and visit the playlist for the 50-state series so you know what's going on. The first thing we're going to do, actually, so we can watch the luggage disappear, is we're going to come down here to our menu, going to wait. We are going to have an adult. And, let's see, a whole bunch of kids. Whole bunch of kids today. Filled with luggage. We're going to load this thing up with fuel, and we're barely going to get off the ground. If we can even get off the ground. Where's my max out weight here? We don't need that much fuel. Jeez Louise. Let's just go down like that. I am nervous about getting off the ground, though. now that I see the conditions we're in. Like I said, in real life, this runway is just long enough. But we'll see what happens when we take off here. Let's see, where's my ground? Turn off my chocks. There we go. Alright, let's see. Hop inside, reset all my levers on my yoke, which I kind of already did, I thought, but I'll do it again anyway, nice and slowly, so we don't have the weird yoke problem, which we haven't been having for the past couple flights. So that's good. As long as that yoke doesn't waver around, we're not having yoke problems. Again, revisit the previous video to see what I'm talking about. I'm not going to repeat myself for my regular viewers every time. It'll get boring in a hurry. Alright, what we're going to do, parking brake is set. Close the door from the touch panel. There we go. Nice and quiet. Wow, very quiet actually. Let's see, I redid my presets too. Oxygen pull on. Air to normal. Alright, bus ties to auto wherever you are. I have the night panel lighting on, by the way. We don't get to use that very much. Annunciator test. Sounds great. On. And reset the ELT. That's it. People, if we crash, people will find us. Certain G-forces will pop that thing on. And then people can find us if we crash. Gear 3 green, and it is fuel check. Full of fuel. Altimeter, barometer. Alright, here we go. We're at the mercy of the built-in sim map. Man, I did not realize this was a grass runway. Anyway, this, like, the Canadian border literally is right here on that longitude line. So we're, like, look at this. In fact, it's modeled as though the end of the runway is in Canada for the most part. And I don't think it's that close in real life, but in the sim it is. Alright. 299.5, wind 30 degrees at 10. So we're facing 33 degrees. Okay, 335 degrees. So we're going to have pretty much straight on headwind at 10 degrees. So that's not nearly as dramatic as it should have been. But it's better, it's doable, and we'll take advantage of that so we can use less runway. 299.5. 299, scroll wheel support, by the way. 5, there we go. Nav radios. Okay, we have a little bit of flight plan. Best as we can. So let me see here. I have it here. Catalog. Nope, where's my catalog? It's been a long time since I've done this, I know. I swear you hit flight plan in the catalog, don't you? Catalog, there it is. And I put it in here, there we go. 473 nautical miles. So 100 shorter. We're not going to invert it, we're going to activate it. And I can't remember the website. Okay, thank you for telling me up there. I don't need to know that, but thank you. I did use a website to calculate this. I don't remember what website it is. I use like 4 different ones, and they all work different days, so whatever day it works, that's the one I used. So, looking at this, I mean, I have no idea if that's going to work out, because we can't see far enough. So I'll keep an eye on that on my own as we're going. And then our total ETE is what I want to look at for descent. Because it's 497 nautical miles, we are going to fly at flight level, gosh, what, 32 maybe? We'll see. We'll see how high we go. Otherwise, it's got some longer legs and some short legs. I don't know why all these waypoints in here. We could probably get rid of like all of them except for like the penultimate and then just jump to there. But I want to do it. I want to use what they say. Maybe it gets us around the mountains. Probably. I mean, we're in the Rockies for crying out loud. We gotta be careful. Anyway, I don't know our destination elevation for 1 Uniform 7. I'll look that up on my phone as we're flying because I forgot to look up before I start recording. But that's our flight plan. Simple as that. I did forget something, I think. I like to keep it on this. Let's move over here and sky view. Turn that off, turn that off. There we go, sky view. Sky view and the GPS. GPS is purple, means sky view is going to read GPS and not a localizer. Otherwise, we don't have any other navigational aid to get us here. We're just going to follow this thing. Like I said, probably cross over the center of the airfield and do a traffic pattern left or right. And hopefully not as big of a traffic pattern as we did in the previous flight when I was sightseeing too much. We'll see what we're going to do. Don't know the area, don't have company route, don't have instrument approach. We're going to do what we can do. Alright, otherwise, map. Is it this one? Is this one? Map TCAS is on. Where's my weather? There should be a weather thing on here. Map menu. See, I've updated this thing and all my preferences changed. TCAS is on, weather is on. Back. Okay. Scroll. Weather does show up on here if we had any. Weather means storms. Of course, all weather is weather. Oh, I start battery. Over here, I think. Start battery. What about system battery? System battery turned on a long time ago. Start battery. Come up here. Start the right engine. I think it's scroll wheel. I think. Are we starting? Sure hope we are. Sure seems like we are. There you go. Had to give it some throttle, I guess, to get it to start. I've never needed to do that before, but we're going to let this level out, and then we'll start the other one. Alright, stabilized enough, I think. Let's start the left engine. Spin that mouse wheel, come down here, keep an eye on things. And are you going to start? I used to have this problem where it doesn't always start. Why not? There we go, just had to do a second time, and now it seems to be starting, so we'll give this one a moment to stabilize. And good enough. We're going to move on with our lives. I've been sitting here for a while. Right gen and left generator on. It's not my right preset. There it is. That looks better. GPU disconnect. Hop back here, and we will turn off GPU. There we go. And what is next? Time to taxi. Trim set. We have to come down here and look for our trim and manually move this on my yoke. It takes quite a while to get the elevator trim right above the heading dial to get to the green. And there it is. We're talking about that right there. All right, next, flaps to takeoff, which is one set down. Flaps will change to takeoff up here. Also, I believe if you look down here, yeah, it's right there, takeoff as well. Anti-ice, yes, we need to do all this stuff. Anti-ice, where did you go? I think it's in the middle here. Somewhere they go, boom. All set, window defog is needed. Not as loud as I remember, so we'll keep that on for right now. Taxi lights. Ooh, the sun just came up a little bit. There we go. Those should already have been on, I think. Yep, external lights. How did I miss that? Anyway, there we go. Taxi lights, autopilot setup. Absolutely using autopilot. I have a preset for that too. Okay. We're going straight to 32,000, I think. We're just going to go up there and hang out up there. Why not? We've never flown that high in this thing, I don't think. 32,000, alt change. Whoops, alt change, sorry. I knew I was going to do that backwards. Now let's do 32,000. There we go. Alt change is green, alt is in yellow. Nav, because we use GPS. IES on 167. It says 180, but the real life preference is 167, so that means we will use... Where's my VS for that? Well, I know it's VS because it's in blue. Whatever's in blue is what you're going to use. So we're going to use 32,000 feet for alt. We're going to use 167 for VSI or vertical speed. I don't see it lit up over here. I just know it's going to work because it's in blue. You can also come down here and check for pitch. And did I say VS? I meant IS, sorry. IS is in green there, so I know it's going to work. It's in blue there, I know it's going to work. I thought there's IS up here, but I guess not. Doesn't matter at this moment anyway. Alright, just go over my checklist for autopilot. Alright, here we go. End of runway. That's where we are, so we're doing a little taxi to nowhere because we're already there. Let's hop back inside. Confirm flaps, yes. I'm almost wondering if I should do 2 sets of flaps so I can take off sooner. Should I? Then I can take off at a slower speed because our runway might not be long enough. Let's do that. Landing lights. There we go. Flip those around. Override for cabin lights. That way everybody's eyes will adjust. Shades up in case there's an issue. People can get out. All up, that means. There we go. And that's just menu, yeah. Alright, so all up. They're up. I had those down a moment ago. Heading bug in case you screw up autopilot. No, we're not going to because we are using nav. Start the timer. That we can come down here to utilities. Flight timers, where are you? There you are. Up, start. Right, there we go. Starting the timer. Rotate 91 knots. Well, that's if we have takeoff flaps. We're going to use landing flaps. I don't know if you would really do it this way, but we need to get off the ground way sooner than 91 knots. Landing flaps can go down to 76 knots. So if we can rotate around 76, we won't end up in the water. So there we go. Otherwise, that's it. We are ready to go because we have a taxi. So let's just circle around. Looking good. The sounds sound different than I remember, but that's okay. And let's see. Sun is coming up. Let's hop in. We are going to let go of the parking brake and hold the brakes, and we're going to spool this thing all the way up before we dare let go of the brakes. We're going to run this in the red. And then we're going to let go and hope for the best. Hope for the best. Oh, we're already at 30, so we should be okay. We're just looking for 76. We don't need to get to 91, but if we can't get to 91, I will. There's 50, 60. Yeah, we'll be fine. There's 70. We could take off now, but I'm going to try to ride this out. There we go. And up. See Daisy, get the first set of flaps up right away to decrease the drag and get some speed. And we made it, folks. And my yoke is doing the funny thing where I can only go one direction. Doggone it, don't do that to me. There we go. Gear coming up, flaps, other flaps coming up. And it is windy. Wow, that wind is really being modeled. Man, oh man, is it windy. Just keep our vertical speed up. Here we go. Oh my gosh, I'm getting blown all over the place. Or is it my yoke? Oh, my yoke. Yeah, it is being kind of goofy. I think my yoke is having problems. Maybe. Maybe it's the wind. I can't tell. We do need to make a U-turn to join our GPS, but we need to get some altitude first here. I think. Maybe we can try, yeah, because it'll turn us to the right. We don't want to go to the right. Let's turn to the left. Try to join our GPS. Because it wants to go to the left anyway. And we will see if we can make this. Let's keep this climb. I think this thing does a very aggressive climb anyway. Let's see if we can make this. Whoa. I don't know if this is wind or yoke. But this is insane. 3,400 feet per minute. I think 3,200 feet per minute is real life. So let's bring that out of the red, out of the yellow. Let's go even steeper. We're only at 24. We can go steeper than that. We're at 180 anyway. We want to come down to 167 before we do our handoff to GPS. And goodness gracious. This has to be wind. Yeah, I can turn to the right, so I don't think it's a yoke problem. I think the wind is just atrocious. Are we going to make this? I'm sure you can make this in real life too. There we go. There's our climb rate that we want in terms of vertical, but we want to slow down a little bit so we can hand off to autopilot in a moment. Man, this wind is insane. Alright, let's deepen this up a little bit. Okay, as soon as we slow down to 167, I'll hand off to autopilot. Wow, that river's beautiful. We are over Canada now, I believe. And now we're back in the United States, just like that. Alright, so here we go. We're going up. Up, and away. When we get slow down to 167, I'll hand off to autopilot. So we're at 197 now. The reason why I don't want to hit autopilot now is it'll point us straight up in the sky to slow us down. I don't want to do that, so we're just going to keep hand flying in this crazy wind. Jeez. We're almost there. We're at 174, 173. There we go. Autopilot, and it wants to go left to catch the GPS. Whatever. Just wants to go this little tiny bit to catch our GPS. Whatever it wants to do, I don't care. Alright, here we go. After takeoff checklist. Let's see. Gear up, yes. Flaps up, yes. Autopilot engaged, yes. Climb speed 167, it is. At 10,000 feet, we'll turn off the landing lights. At 18,000 feet, we'll reset the barometer. Window fog on. Override switch off. And shades can come down as people desire, which we will in a moment. Let's just enjoy that sunrise. That's amazing. And let's check our engines. Engines are up high, but we're out of the red, so we're fine. Let's come down here now. Interior overhead can come off. Don't let them come off. Footwell can come off. We can switch our master to day. Can we get to day? Oh, it is just day or night. Day and night. That's it. I thought there was a three-way switch. There's night, but there's also the scroll wheel. Ooh, that's cool. Let's crank that up because it's going to be sunny soon. Alrighty. Let's hop back here. Turn everybody's lights off. Well, should have been off anyway. Shades up, lights off. Is that on my checklist? It better be. Oh, no, never mind. No, I did not screw up. With those lights on, even with these lights on, that's what this whole override, cabin override. Never mind. I did not screw that up. What am I thinking? Trust myself. Okay, there we go. We're good. So we're 11,000 feet, so we can turn off landing lights now. Now 18,000, we'll reset the barometer. It looks like we're flying crooked again. This is what this thing does. But it's to the right this time. Anyway, we're going to haul. Like, we are going to go as fast as this thing can go. So let's have a look back. There is our airport. We took off right above the left wing, or right wing to us. There's Canada behind us. We have been here before, by the way, on the Canadian side. There's another runway up there. We have been there. Not on the US side, I don't think. Otherwise, nice sunrise. Looks like we're in this like valley between mountains, and that's where they put the airport. Otherwise, we're just going to head in this direction for the most part. And then at some point, it kind of turns to the left a little, turns to the right a little between these waypoints. And that's what all this nonsense is about. So we got 41 minutes, and then we got a few quick minute hops, and then I'll have to add that up together to get our destination elevation so we can start coming down. Otherwise, we're going to go up to 35,000 feet. Not much else to say at the moment. I think we're all set for cruise. That sun is really putting in a lot of glare, but it should put a lot of glare. Otherwise, it's just Rocky Mountain, not just, but it's Rocky Mountains the entire way. We're pretty much going to follow that river all the way to Bear Lake County. There's a lake there, which we'll use as a reference point. Otherwise, the only thing I have left to do is reset the barometer at 18,000 and keep track of the systems and where we are. And you can just sightsee. So I'm going to stick with you here to 18,000 so we can reset the barometer together, and then I'll turn you loose to sightsee while I look up our destination on my phone to see what our elevation is going to be. Because I'm recording, I can't hop out of the flight simulator to look that stuff up. Otherwise, I do have a bunch of computers I can use. Alright, there's about 18,000 feet, so we'll come up here. We'll just push this. That'll make a standard barometer. So now, once we get up to our cruise, which is 32,000 feet, our airspeed will skyrocket, our ground speed will skyrocket, and then we will cover ground in no time. And this, what is that? 47, yeah, this like hour and a half stuff will go down very quickly. So I'm going to leave you to some sightseeing. I want to keep an eye on a few things. I really want to have anything to say in between until I reach top of descent. So that's when I'll catch you, is top of descent. Alright, so it's about 3 tops descent. I know that because I looked up the airport elevation. And airport elevation is 6,000 feet. It's like 5,934. So 6,000 feet. We are flying at 32,000 feet. So 32 take away 6 is 26. So that would be 26,000 feet we have to come down. We're going to come down at 1,000 feet per minute. That's 26 minutes. Come over here and our ETE to final is 30. So in 4 minutes we have to come down. Well, as you're just watching the storm up here to the right a little bit, which would be over there. Don't see much. Ooh, we got some mountain peaks though, above the clouds. So we did have some cloud cover come into play. Obviously, as you saw during sightseeing, we got some overcast clouds, which is great. Now, if the clouds go down to the ground level, if they go down to 6,000 feet, I'm going to have to raise them manually because we don't have ILS, don't have localizer, we don't have anything. It's all visual approach without instruments. There's no instrument approach, remember. So if we do have that issue of the clouds going down to the ground, we will raise them. I have come this far. I am not turning around and doing it again. It's been an hour and 14 minutes plus half an hour left to go. We're looking at 2 hours by the time we wrap this thing up. So that is a lot of time. And I'm not going to redo it, so we need to maybe play God a little bit and adjust the weather. Ooh, there's a quick peek below the clouds. So anyway, looking at this thing, yep, weather's updating. We got some storms. We're going to go right through them, which is awesome. Not very often do we deal with real storms in the simulator, at least not for us. So let's see, where are we at here? 5 minutes till that one. I just want to see if this is really true. So 17 plus 10 is 27, and that says 28. So yeah, so let's start coming down. So what we're going to do is we're going to set, whoops, we're going to set this. Do we really want to go 6,000? Let's do 7,000. That way we're 1,000 above the airfield. So 7,000 and alt change. And we're going to come down. Autopilot, pitch. Vertical speed is already selected. Okay, so let me just go nose down. Whoops, down, up. What? Anyway, negative 1,000. There we go. Now, because of overspeed, it won't bring us down to 1,000 if we get too fast. So we're going to increase speed a little bit. In fact, we've only been hovering around like 312 to 306 ground speed nautical miles an hour, which is a lot slower than I thought it was going to be. But what will happen is if our speed gets too high, it won't let us descend 1,000 feet per minute. So, in fact, there it goes. It's starting to creep up. It's going to hover around it. Eventually, if this starts to slow down and go up, we'll have to decrease our throttle, or else it won't let us descend. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Otherwise, we have reached top of descent officially now. And we're going to watch these storms. Just go right around them. I don't think I can zoom out, or maybe I can. Oh, I can. Yeah, we're going to go right through some, but around the big stuff. And let's see what else is weather going to tell us. Anything at all. Let's see. Let's go over here. Click home. Click weather. Right now, anyway, 2,000 feet above ground level. Or sea level. Sorry. 16 knot, 17 knot winds, which is insane. From 30 degrees. We'll worry about that when time comes. They might even update by then, who knows? And like I said, if the clouds are too low, we'll have to adjust them anyway. We'll keep the winds and everything, but the clouds have to mess with. So we're coming down. Our speed has increased a lot. And we need to come down, what is that, 30 now. That's 24,000. And we're at 24 minutes out, 1,000 feet per minute. We'll keep it that way. We'll see how this goes. Because we've picked up speed horizontally now. Or laterally. Our lateral speed has increased quite a bit. But we're still going to make it on target. Okay, anyway, we want to cross the airfield about 1,000 feet, maybe even 800 feet above. We'll see how that goes. We'll pick a runway based on the wind, if it updates or not. I'm nervous about that 18 knot wind at 2,000 feet. Oh my gosh, that's so fast. Oh, it's going to be a rough landing, folks. Even if I do achieve another polished crosswind landing in this thing, it's still going to be rough. Oh, that's going to be bad. Anyway, what do we need to worry about? Nothing. 18,000 feet, we'll get our landing barometer for our altimeter. Otherwise, we're going to watch these storms over here and watch our frame rates dive. We might hear some thunder, but otherwise I'll catch you for some more narration when I have something to say. What kind of beautiful scenery is this? We're in the cloud layer now, broken below us, overcast above us, and it's raining. Let's hop up front and have a look at this radar. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. We can even zoom in here. Look at that. We're about to get some more rain. How awesome is that? I'm having a hard time with the sim keep running here. It keeps stalling on me. Anyway, we're going to have some awesome weather to look at. Alright, so far we haven't crashed. I keep thinking the sim is going to crash. It keeps stalling on me. Anyway, we got some like storm clouds up in front of us. We don't see that very often. That is super cool. And what are we at? We're at 20,000 feet. Not quite ready for our landing barometer altimeter. So let me see here. 15 minutes about to our arrival. And 20,000, so we got to get down 14,000 feet. So there we go, 1,000 feet per minute or so. We'll still be good there. Keeping an eye on our speed up and pulling throttles back slowly, little by little. I do have 1,200 at our descent rate at the moment, but we can actually soften that up a little bit. That was just because we were going so fast earlier. So if I go up, that'll bring us, whoops, this way. The number down, that's what that means. There we go. The sim keeps stalling on me, which isn't a big deal for you, but even for editing... Ooh, you hear that thunder? Even for editing, it makes it very difficult when it stalls, because it stalls my editor too. So anyway, alright, home free, straight to the airport now. Even though it looks like we've gone by it, it's just like keeps adding to itself, like there's a range of weather or something, and it keeps adding to it as we go along, which is hilarious. But anyway, still says 15 minutes, that number's not going down, is it? Otherwise, what do we want to do? We want to pull up our barometer. I'm just having so much fun looking around. Wow, look at that. Let's look at the wing. Rain on the wing. Let's pull up our destination. 1 uniform 7, way down here. And what does it say? Wind calm. 299 Now, I did not turn off weather, obviously, because it's raining. So it just happens to be calm. Happens to be 299 Okay. Okay, we'll live with that then. We're about to reach 18,000 now, where we'll change that. Interesting. So winds are calm. We can go any runway we want. We're facing 150 degrees, so the closest runway will be 16. I did not get the length of runways between the two runways, but now it'll just be a little bit to the right. So if we go straight, you should be able to see it. When we go left a little bit to go to the right, we might be able to just fly straight in if winds are calm. We might not need to worry about circling the airfield. Well, good. I'm just going to come in a bit high though, because I've set our descent to be 1,000 feet as we circle the airfield, but we want to be lower than that. So let's bring this back down then to like 12 or 1,300. Make the number go up. There we go. Let's go 1,300 on that. Slow us down a little bit so that we can get down sooner. Because we're 18,000 feet, we have to go down 12,000 feet. We're 14 out. So actually, maybe that is a little aggressive. Let's just keep it. Man, that thunder is making me jump. Anyway, 18,000 feet, 299 We're going to keep it that way because that's standard, and we're going to keep it that way. Let's get landing lights on now because it's raining. Let's override the cabin lights. Let's make sure all shades are up. All up. There we go. Lights don't matter again because they're being overridden right now by this switch. Alright, let's switch that to day. There we go. Actually, let's keep it like that. I liked it lit up. That's kind of neat. It could get pretty dark in the clouds. Anyway, alright, 18,000 feet, so I gotta come down 12,000 feet. We're 14 out. So that puts us a little bit ahead of schedule, which will be fine now if we can actually fly straight in. I do see the ground, but again, we're IFR and just looking around at the ground. So it really said winds calm, didn't it? Let's reload that and make sure it's still true. Where was it? 1 uniform 7. Wind calm. Okay. 7,300 for the base of our clouds. 6,000 for, so that's 13,000 difference. So we should be able to see the runway just fine. It is a visual landing after all. It's just confusing because we've come over here. Oh man, that thunder. Come over here. Tells us differently. Anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter. We got the information we need. 13 minutes out. have to come down 11,000 feet. That's less than 1,000 feet per minute, but I want to be, so I can down, level off, see the runway, look around, get our bearings, and be all set. So, descent checklist, we got our destination elevation and our destination barometer. We have landing lights on, shades are forced up, override is forced, the lights off. Too early for flaps, obviously, or too early for gear, obviously. When we do get ready for flaps and gear, those 200 for flaps and gear, 140 for the next set of flaps. And then final approach 99 knots, touchdown between 76 and 99. So there we go, hour and a half flight time so far, 2-hour recording time for me. This is much longer than I'm used to. Anyways, time for a little bit more sightseeing. Ooh, another storm popped in. I'm going to keep managing this aircraft best as I can, and I'll catch you in a little bit. Yeah, it seems like the sim is just throwing in storms however it wants to. We got some red right before our destination. So apparently it just randomly maybe just says storms, and it keeps putting storms in front of us. So as soon as I think we're in the clear, we're not. But anyway, 10 minutes to go. We only have to come down 7,000 feet. So we're keeping like 700 feet per minute or so. Let's start slowing down though, because we got to get down to, what was it? I can't see, just got dark in the office here. And the sim keeps stalling on me every time it updates that storm. The sim stalls, so I'm going to have a heck of a time editing this. So I'm glad you're enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying this, because it was quite a bear to edit. Like I said, whenever the sim stalls, it stalls my editor too. It gets very tricky. Have to find the bad frames and all that stuff. So anyway, there should be an airport directly in front of us. Somewhere. We got 6,000 to go before we touch the ground, and we're 10 minutes out, so we're going to start slowing down a little bit. Probably not descend quite as steeply, maybe. Let's bring that down to 600 feet per minute. Otherwise, double check everything. Landing lights are on, barometer, our altimeter is set. We have an idea where we are. Once we make visual with, oh, there's water below us, as there should be. That would probably be Bear Lake, right? Oh my gosh, that thunder makes me jump. Anyway, once we make visual contact with the runway, airport, we'll move to the left a little bit. Take runway 16. Wind should still be calm. Let's just double check everything, make sure they are. It still says there. Let me reload it. And, oh, there we go. 5 knot wind now. At, sky conditions 3,000. That means the clouds are lower than our airport. So we're not going to be able to see the runway like this. We'll see what happens. I might have to raise some clouds. But now winds are 20. And that means runway 10 would be best, because 2 takeaway 10 is 8. 16, I don't know. Maybe we'll still do 16 anyway, because it's only 5 knot winds. I was really hoping just to go straight in at this point. Oh well, we'll see. I think I might end up raising these clouds though. We'll see how this goes. Alright, we just popped out the clouds as planned. I don't see a runway up there though. Or an airport. Should be something there. I don't see anything. Maybe it's behind that mountain. Shouldn't be though. Should be really close. I don't want to have to circle either because of the terrain. Low ice, we're at 9,300, 9,200. And we're 5 minutes out. So we should be leveling off soon. We'll keep that at 7,000 feet for autopilot so I can figure out what is going on. Now we are visual in terms of landing because there's no instrument approach. And now we're below the cloud level. So let's pull up our dealio here. Our dealio. Where are we expecting this airport to be? We got some terrain in front of us here. And then lower, no, I don't know. I don't know where this runway is. I'm just keeping my speed above 200. That's all I'm worrying about. Let's see here. They're telling us to look for the runway in the storm. Is that it? No. Because we're heading... No, it should be right in front of us, right? Because the GPS is bringing us directly to it. So we should be right... pointing right at it. Hope we don't end up in the clouds again. I don't know. We might end up flying over the airfield and having to make a really tight traffic pattern. I don't know. We're still going to shoot for runway 10 because that's 100 degrees. That's the closest we're going to get to 20 degrees for the wind. So anyway, let's have a few looks out the window here. Just enjoy what we can while we can. Another window looking good. Let's look outside one last time probably because we shouldn't be looking outside when we approach. We'll just do a quick circle here. And the flower power livery. Man, we came out of those clouds just in time. I was really nervous about that. I just can't believe this. I cannot believe there's not an instrument approach. I was on AirNav. There's no instrument approach for this airport. I don't understand it. 3 minutes out. Still have to come down 2,000 feet. But I don't see it. And like I said, the GPS is putting us directly over the airfield. So it must be just on the other side of these mountains in that valley. It has to be. The GPS is pointing us directly at it. Very nerve-wracking. I'll get gear and flaps down in a moment. Not quite yet. Man, we're only 2 minutes out. Where in the world is this airport? Again, directly in front of us. And the point is to come out to the right a little bit so we can take runway 10. I don't know. I don't see a runway out here. Or an airport out here. Oh, there it is. The beacon just shined right in our face. There we go. There it is. Alright, so we're going to wait just a minute. I'll kill autopilot and I'll manually take over. Sorry, I keep bumping to my microphone. I think now we can go down probably to our 6,500 feet anyway. Enter that, do an alt change. That'll bring us down. I don't have vertical speed selected though. I'm not thinking quickly enough. Let's go here. And let's go down 200 feet per minute. Negative. There we go. That'll take care of that. And where did our beacon? There's our beacon. See, yeah, we're straight in for runway 16. Let's just take runway 16. Screw it. All right, here we go. Autopilot off. Gear for set of flaps. I don't really see the runway. I just know there's a runway there. I think. I just see the beacon, and we're floating because of flaps. Oh my gosh, we're floating because of flaps. Winds are calm enough. I'm just going to take runway 16, whatever I said it was. Alright, the 140 per second set of flaps, which we'll do in a second here. Second set of flaps. Alright, here we go. I want to look around, but we're not going to. Alright, landing flaps down, gears down. We want to approach at 99 knots, land between 76 and 99, and we're going to do it after an hour and 45-minute flight time. We are going to make this. We'll have a little bit of crosswind if wind is coming from 5, which is 50. It's actually be coming from behind us a little bit, so we're actually going to have a little bit of tailwind, and then the left. I'm not terribly worried about executing a crosswind landing, though. I'm just going to try to land this safely. It's been a stressful flight. Especially when, ooh, look at that lightning. Especially when you don't have instruments to find the airport. If we had instruments, we would let autopilot, we'll let Skyview take us almost all the way in. And the weather's updating, the storm is updating. Anyway, Skyview would take us almost all the way in. It would do the glide slope and everything for us if we're a localizer. We don't have any of that, so it was stressful. And I'm going to try to talk through this. So we have a little bit of crosswind from the left. I could do crosswind landing. Left wing down, right rudder. Left main down, firm touchdown. We're approaching way too quickly. We need to approach at 99. We're at 120. Yeah, let's not descend too quickly though. There we go. Come on. You can do this. I'm going to try to execute crosswind landing. I just talked through it. I'm going to go sterile and see if I can do any of this at all. Here we go. And why are we floating? No, I know it's 10. Just touch down. Oh my gosh, terrible. What? Why? Because I was too fast. I was way too fast. Doggone it. Flaps coming in. And we have a little bit of tailwind. Darn it. Oh my gosh. That was stupid. I'm so frustrated. I had the crosswind part perfect too. I had left wing down. Right rudder, just about to touch the left main when it said 10, and I floated because I was doing like 110 knots instead of 76 knots. Doggone it. Oh, what a way to end a stressful flight with a terrible landing and 2 bounces. I've never bounced this aircraft. In fact, I haven't bounced an aircraft in ages. What is going on? Oh well, let's turn this thing around if we can. Flaps are already in. We'll keep the landing lights on until we clear the runway. We're going to back taxi here a little bit, I think. And I wish it had wipers, but I guess it doesn't. Anyway, we got to see some good stuff. We got to see some storms. We got to do a very scary approach in very bad weather. I can't believe I bounced. Oh, my word. Oh, well. I see a nice, big, huge blue hangar over there by the beacon. That's where we're going to go. And I'll meet you when we're off this runway. Alright, as we're taxiing, we're going to turn the override off for the cabin. We'll turn taxi lights on now, I guess. Once everything else is set. Whoops, it's hard to look out that window at the same time. We have quite a ways to go, though. I didn't see any other taxiways, just a runway to a runway, and then maybe a taxiway. Alright, looks like we actually have a way off these runways, finally. Man, this rain is loud, and that was a long flight. Taxi lights are already on, landing lights are already off, clock is already stopped. I stopped that off camera. And lights are on, people can start collecting their things. And we're still trying to get going here. Otherwise, flight time was what? Hour and 48 minutes and 53 seconds. But it was pretty fun. We got to play with some storms. We got to do a visual landing in a storm. That was pretty scary. But we were able to do it. I haven't had a flight this long in a long time, so that was kind of fun too. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Welcome to Idaho from Idaho. We flew the entire north to south length of Idaho. That was pretty exhausting for me. Even though, you know, autopilot does it, it's still exhausting doing the calculations and not knowing where I am and worrying about landing in the storm and talking through everything. So it was over 2.5 hours for me before I edited this down. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for your continuing support. If you are new to the channel or just found me by accident, please subscribe. Please leave a like. Please turn on notifications so you can get updated when these flights occur. Right now we're in the middle, smack dab in the middle of our 50-state series where we're flying in each state of the United States. Takeoff and touchdown in the same states. I'm going to mix in, or have been mixing in, regular flights, so we're not going to do 50 flights in a row or anything of the states. We have been doing some other stuff. For example, Recently we came from Scandinavia. I have some African flights planned. We have Canadian flight planned. Although I think we're going to do at least one more state. I think we'll do Illinois. I have a special thing for Illinois planned. And then we'll do some flights outside the series. But that's what's been going on. Please look at the playlist to get the previous 12 flights. I guess this is flight 13. It's not the 13th state alphabetically, though. It's the 12th state. It's just I snuck in Pennsylvania because we had a subscriber request. So if you have a subscriber request for your state, please leave a comment below. Not only will I fly that request in your state, but I'll bump your state up in the list so you don't have to wait for it alphabetically. Otherwise, we are going to finally park this thing after 2.5 hours. And then we're going to shut this thing down and we'll be out of here. But I wanted to do the sign off first because as soon as it gets shut down, I know you're all going to want to run out of the rain and run into the building. So let's just pull up here to the blue hangar that I had my eye on ever since we landed. And we're going to stop right about here. So let's hop in and stop. And we'll set the parking brake. Very, very quick shutdown checklist. Parking brake throttles idle for 1 minute. Anti-ice off. Window defog, wherever you are, is off. Air source off. Turn off the engines. We just spin-a-roo like that. After we turn off the engines, we do our GPU, so we have some power. And then what? Start battery comes off. No, start battery? Yeah, start battery comes off. External lighting comes off at this point. Left and right generators come off. Bus ties off. System battery off. We still have lights because we're on GPU. Open the door, which is going to be here. And set the chocks. And everybody, quick run. We already did our sign off. You've heard it before. If you subscribe and turn on notifications, you'll hear it again. And I'll catch you on the next one.